Hey everyone, hi, and welcome to another weekly connection. So today we have Lord Katumi leading this video because he is in charge of helping us learn and grow. He is the teacher for the light seeds, and then of course we have Lord Mahay. Saint Germain is always going to be here. Lord Joel Call. You know, there's a crew that's always here because they're so committed to us getting to the fifth dimension. So we're going to talk about opening up to 5D today. Excuse me. So you may have noticed that there has been a great deal of disruptive energy, solar energies and all of that. In fact, the Schumann resonance was been blocked out again. It's back now. But when they block it out, it means that they don't want you to see what's going on. And the sun, you know, is just pretty much a non-stop event at this point. Now, there's a lot of things that stimulate the sun, but the main thing is you have to remember that the sun is the catalyst to move the earth to 5D. And they're working together, and they're working off of each other. And the Schumann frequency comes from the earth, which was very volatile last week. And then the sun energy, the electromagnetic energy that comes off the sun that affects our electromagnetic shield. These things are giving way to you shifting and changing your DNA structure and moving you out of 3D negative thought patterns. It also brings out all the negativity. So you see more and more of that. You see more mass shootings. You see more earthquakes. There have been an enormous number of earthquakes lately that barely get any news recognition. I don't know, there's bigger things, better things, or they just don't want to talk about the fact that, you know, you have major earthquakes going on all over the globe in an accelerated manner. So all this is actually good news. It's actually good because it lets us know something's happening. And so we want to work with these disruptive energies. Nobody likes change. You know, we don't like going through the pretzel factory. And that's where you are right now. You're in this pretzel factory. But it is through light seeds that we are shifting and changing the DNA to 5D. And of course, the physical catalysts are the earth magnetic energy and the sun magnetic energy. And the amount of divine light that is hitting the earth. Well, I was talking to Pat in the car the other day. I go, I remember when I was a kid, the sun was more yellow-orange. And now if you look, the sun is white. So who's changed? Both. But as this influx of light energy, I don't mean sunlight like light, but spiritual light is coming in, then we see these changes occurring. So we need to work more and more and be more and more aware of these energies. And my main thing is, you know, I just get like brain dead. You know, I just kind of go, ugh, can't think, can't work, can't do. And now it's also hot. You know, at 110 degrees, it's hard to be enthusiastic. It really is. So we understand that. We go through this every year, you know. And you do whatever you need to do to keep yourself cooled down. But you keep your mentals going, right? And just don't get depressed. Just don't let yourself go downward. If you get foggy, you know, and you're able to have a cup of coffee, go do that. Don't have 5 cups of coffee, have 1 cup of coffee. If you can't do that, then, you know, the thing to do might be to exercise or jump in the pool if you have a pool nearby. You know, something that will stimulate you, because you have all these pressures that are keeping you down. And when we got hit, one day we got hit by 5 solar flares from the same sunspot in one day. And I was just like, dee. For the whole next day. I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to go out and have Indian food for lunch. That was about my ambition level. Understand what's going on in you. If you understand it, you know there's nothing wrong. You know, and if you're able to flow with it, and I was able to that day, some days I'm not able to do that, then you know, and you can kind of give yourself a time out. If you can't give yourself a time out, slog through it. That's what we do. But know that these are good things, not bad things. I felt like a lot of people were feeling that the solar energy, because it was making you feel negative, I mean, in that you didn't have energy, that was bad. But it is not. That's like, you know, that healing process, healing the 3D. When you're sick, what's the best medicine? Sleep. Well, it kind of puts you down a little bit so that your body can make these changes. And then that's a good thing. So allow yourself to do that if you have the freedom to do that. And if you don't, and a lot of times I don't, then I just make sure that I get to bed early. And you're going to need more sleep. And that's the best that you can do. Eat well. Eat really, really well. The food you take in affects this quite a bit. If you're eating, you know, I want to call them 3D foods. That's not really a good explanation. But dense foods, high karma foods, foods that are heavy or inflammatory in your system, you want to stay away from. So you want to eat a lot of, you know, fruits and vegetables. And the watermelons are great, and that's been our dinner for a while, you know, because first of all, I live in the really hot climate and I don't want to eat. But secondly, the lighter foods that allow you to clear your system are much better for you at this time as we're going through this really intense period of insurgence of energy. So we just want you to know you're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. And that you can make it through this. You just maybe have to adjust a little bit in your life. So we can do this. And remember, we are moving that duality out. But in order to move duality out to 20%, it has to be done in here. We don't, you know, nature doesn't need to do this. We need to do this. We're the ones who need to change. So we need to follow that change that is happening in our bodies. How many of you had growing pains when you were young, when you went through a growth spurt? You have to equate it to that. You're in a growth spurt right now, and sometimes it's not that comfortable. Sometimes you don't notice a thing. So stay aware and change your mindset when you get hit by one of these anomalies to, okay, I'm growing today. I'm clearing away old stuff. I'm clearing away old karma, anything that represents the, we call it the negative 3D maliciousness. That is going away. So that means you're not going to experience anger as much. You're going to experience more kindness and more compassion. You know, if you are a mortal ascendant, and majority of us are, you have experienced negative lives and positive lives, and they're all just fine as long as you grow. So we want to get rid of all of the smear from all that old karma And this is what the sun and the earth are doing, because they really want us to shift and change. And remember, we don't need everybody to shift and change. You just want to shift and change yourself. And the rest is happening. And you'll see the light come through. And you'll see humans shifting and changing. So let's open up to 5D. And let's be the light seeds. So now we're going to bring that energy up, no, down first, into the earth. I forgot I had to do a meditation. Let's do this. I know, you just can't teach me. Now we have our cosmic thrust. I got so into talking. We're going to have to do this a little bit speedier because it'll be too long. One of my favorite things is cosmic thrust. It really is. And the ascension oil, you take one on your finger, rotate it on your third eye, and then right under your nose. There you go. So bring that golden light down. And in the workshop, I want you to already know about Empathic Shield. We will do a review, but the workshop that's coming up in October, I highly recommend, because I'm going to teach you a whole bunch of stuff on spirituality and about, the celestial realms and how they relate to humans and what they want from us and what we can do. Lots of techniques. So we bring it on down, out our feet, and into the earth to the mother. And she says, welcome. And that grid is getting wider and wider. And bring your feet around it, bring it up and up the back of your head and back up to source. So now you have the essence of the mother and the father just going in orbit, round and round, round and round. Good. Just let that orbit. And now as it comes down, it comes up. And it waterfalls out the top of your head, out of your crown. Hello, little plant. Into your aura. So we're going to fill the well of the mother, which is where we now have that connection to Mother Earth and to nature, which is the first step in cosmic consciousness, knowing that we are connected, feeling our connectedness. Removing that separation, and that separation is duality. So the well of the mother is very important right now. Well, always, but particularly for us right now as we are opening up that awareness. And then we go into the root aura, where we clear away our DNA. And this is where all your old DNA, your old lives, in sessions, when we scry the aura, we can look at a past life, find out where something came from, pluck it out, and allow you to clear. So this is where you store them. And they can be anywhere throughout the aura, but they're usually going to be a lot in here in the root aura if it's something you're holding on to. And then the sacral, where we get rid of all of our should and should nots, all of those dictates, so that we are now conscious, loving beings making choice. Because you have destiny. Yes, that's like color, the outline of your life, the blueprint to your house. But you have free will and choice, which is your eraser and the pencil on the other side. You can change anything through consciousness. So you really want to work on getting that removed, cleared into 5D sacral chakra, which does not hang on to limited belief. And there is not the belief that you are right anymore. That doesn't matter. That's really hard in 3D to understand. Why doesn't it matter that I'm right? Because it doesn't. It's not about right or wrong anymore. It's about what is and a knowingness. So if the intellect says it is, it isn't. It's just the intellect creating that reality here. And you have people living in many alternate realities because their idea of right isn't the same as the other guy's idea of right. Because if it were true, then we'd all have the same right, and we don't. So that's very important to remember about ourselves. If you're really convicted about something, you might need to look at why. Is that a conviction and not a knowingness? Because when it's 5D, there's no hell and brimstone, you know? It's not, you got to do it this way because it's the only way. In 5D, it's this knowing and allowing and sharing with compassion and kindness. Very different than what you see in 3D. And the conscious use of power, which we'll go over in great detail in the workshop, and a lot of my students have already learned this. But I really want to make sure you have a really strong, NT wants to make sure you have a really strong understanding of the basic techniques that we do. And we're going way beyond them in the workshop. And way beyond what my previous students have learned. So now you're going to remove conflict. Conflict is 3D. Now you have some conflict in 5D, but it isn't the same at all, because it isn't in the way of my ego knows better. There's still ego, there's 20% ego, but it's very understanding now. Now we know how to deal with this ego that we have. Because as long as you're in physical form, you have ego, but the ego doesn't run the show. And then you go up into your solar plexus where you share that love and compassion. And you share that conscious power, which is love, to the collective consciousness, so that you are part of the whole. And then in the empathic shield, which is sitting right on your liver, we clear away any anger, any junk that isn't serving you. Bye-bye. And it allows us to not judge others through our limited beliefs. And it allows us to simply be compassionate. And then we open up the heart. And when someone looks at you, they see love. And that's what you want them to see. And conscious intent is extremely active right now, because we are manifesting a new world. A world without anger and fear and hatred. And we're all ready for that. And then the throat where our expression is pure love. We love. We are that expression as light seeds. And in the third eye, we never doubt who we are. We know. Are we perfect? Nah. Do you have to be perfect? No. Isn't that a good thing? But you need to have the majority of your energy focused on that. The Ascended Masters talk about how you're never rid of karma, but your positive karma must outweigh your negative karma so much that you ascend. Because nobody's ever totally free until you're free. So then your crown, what you wear, saying, I'm a light seed, doggone it, and I love being a light seed. I like being sensitive because there's a knowingness in that sensitivity as opposed to just being ignorant. And then the telepathic notch develops and grows more and more as I become a non-judgmental human. And that is our goal. And we spread that light out 18 inches in our aura so that others can learn and grow just in our presence, just by going to the grocery store. And they munch and crunch that light because it helps them on their journey. And that's what a light seed does. And in return, we get to see anything we don't understand or that we might be judgmental of. So it's a good trade-off to be a juice bar. So you wear your shield 24/7. And nobody comes in here and steals your energy ever, 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 ever again. It's all out here on the shield. And you just watch it like a TV show. So let's watch the TV show. And let's shift ourselves to 5D. Be sure to like me and subscribe to me. And please sign up for the workshop. I really want you to come. It's going to be such good fun. And we're going to go over a lot of information. You're going to like it. I love you. And I'll see you next time.